featuring a beautiful set of human beings from a film which I will not discuss. I won't even give you the name of the film unless they tell me what it is. This is one of the best nights on June 12th. You can go down to the Portland Horror Film Festival, trademark, and go down and see these lovely people down in their film. And is everybody going to be there that day? You guys going to be there too?
Yeah, My name's Zach. I'm one of the writer directors. I'm gonna be there. I will be there. It's called It Needs Eyes. You can say it. It's allowed. You can say it. How are people gonna know what to see if we don't tell them?
It needs eyes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the poster itself is gorgeous too. I don't know who designed the poster, but kudo.
Thank you. That's our good friend Brendan Haley. He's
Very nice
fantastic.
poster. I
But
get
other
very tired of
people.
seeing the same poses in every poster, so have a nice change.
Just
Uh,
a big old shot of a eye with teeth in it. Yeah.
but we have Alex is over here. No, no, yes. Alex
Hi.
is there. Yes. No. All right, you guys do it. The Brady Bunch. I'm very bad at it. You guys
It's
are way
assumed.
too young to know what the Brady Bunch was, but a million years ago, they used to have Hollywood Squares. Oh, wait, you don't know what that was. A million years before. It's tic-tac-toe for idiots, is basically what it
Yeah.
is. And you basically just do this and talk to people. So I'm Auntie. You guys know that. Down below me, I like being on top, just saying. Happy Pride is Isadora.
Yes,
And how do
I'm
I say your last name properly? Because I don't want to screw it up.
Leiva.
Leiva. Oh, I could screw that up in all sorts of ways, which would make Pride a whole different parade. Anyway, and on we have Zach.
Hello. You already met me. My name's Zach Ogle, again, writer director. One and my co we're both writer directors. And Aaron, to my diagonal, and your bottom for me.
Yeah, bottom for me too.
Okay.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So, and we got Aaron. Is it Pagniano or Pagnano?
Ooh,
Pagniano, you got to say it like a
nailed it.
dish with meatballs.
My family has Bacuzzi's in it. So if you say the
Mm.
Italian name wrong, and I don't know
Mm.
if it's Italian or Portuguese, but if you say it wrong and it's a Latin-based name, right? That's not good.
Aaron also shot our film as well. They're a man of many talents and hats.
Well, each of you guys seem to be extraordinarily talented in many, many different ways. I mean, like many different ways. Like I went through all of your curricula vitae, if you will, and I checked through. Like, did you guys all meet in Florida?
Yeah,
Hmm.
Did
Yeah.
Indirectly.
Okay, so not like in a line at Mickey Mouse World or
I wish.
how did this how did the two gentlemen meet?
We were all working at a Gator Emporium at the time,
Were
and
you
I was coming down
just
on
giving
bad falls, and I
Gatorade?
looked to my right, and there's Aaron.
I was currently robbing a convenience store with a
Yes.
snake,
Exactly.
obviously.
Yeah.
I was the snake.
I was moonlighting as a snake at the Gator Emporium.
Yeah.
Um,
And I was in the car driving 13 miles an hour on the off ramp because that's
I knew you looked familiar. Um, so we all went to Florida State University. Aaron was the year above me in the film school in the BFA program, and then Isadora was just like a couple years behind us in the theater program. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I believe you.
And yeah, we got our story straight, right? Um, and I had not met Isadora personally. I don't know if you have Aaron before this film, but we had
No.
both seen her work in some other like fellow alums, and she's in this fantastic indie film called Shouting Fire in a Crowded Theater.
Yelling
Well,
fire in an empty
Yelling,
theater.
yelling.
oh,
Sorry,
And
I'm thinking of the sequel.
I'll bring up the
Uh,
IMDb next year, so pull it all up.
Yelling fire in an empty theater. Anyway, the headline is Isadora is fantastic in that, and she's fantastic in this movie. And yeah, now we're all besties.
Aw, that's cool. I love it when people like you gel immediately and you just suddenly decide that this is the team for me. These are
Hmm.
my people. I often invite people into my tribe. You're in my tribe now. You're in my tribe. Um, so you're in Florida, as you know, you go down there in Florida, you're in Florida State. You have a previous film that you two gentlemen worked on together, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, after we moved to Los Angeles. So we met in Florida, but the real story starts in LA after we all moved there. Zach and I became close. We started writing together a bunch of
Yeah.
things. We had some pitches
Hmm.
with Cartoon Network and some other companies pitching
Yeah. Bento box. Yeah.
pitching animated shows.
Mhm.
But we had never ma
Mason, 1991, run!
Oh,
Hey,
hey.
incredible.
For my people.
Um
You
yeah,
are
so we
my
were pitch
tribe.
exactly. So yeah, we were pitching and it takes forever to get a show made and we were like, let's actually write something and make it together. So
We
we did a
just
short
want to have some work. Yeah.
exactly. So
It's
so we did a
really
short film
annoying working
together.
at Starbucks all the time.
Yeah. So in between shifts at Starbucks, we were writing.
For those who are unaware, I have been in the industry. I started in 1981 in the industry, so I'm old school. Like, and I worked for special effects animation, so I got to make things blow up for a long time.
That's amazing.
It's fun. What did you do? I lost an arm today. Uh, Look, a face. Um,
Look at face.
the the way people come out of film school and stuff, they have their student work, their student reels. Did you guys start that way, or did you come and say, "Okay, I need to make this my living"? And I'm going to ask you, Isadora, too. I'm not ignoring you. You're gorgeous. I just can't look at you. You're too beautiful.
Can't ignore her.
Um, if when you're starting out, when somebody says, "I'm going to a pitch meeting," most people who watch this might not know what that is. So, what is a pitch meeting?
What is a pitch meeting?
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Well, in order to get things made, you have to go in front of producers and just pitch the idea. You need to have what's called like a log line, which is basically a synopsis for the project, and also like a Bible for the show of like, this is the tone, this is what it's going to be about, here are the characters, here's where we're going. And you need to get that all out in a fun, concise, punchy way that makes people
This is a
go,
lookbook. This is a
yeah,
pop-up
look, yeah,
lookbook.
yeah, exactly. You'll probably have slides or a packet or something to give them as well. Maybe some actors in mind. But you have to get the idea across in a concise, fun, flashy way that gets them all on board and gets them excited about the
It's
show.
basically 1 minute dating with film producers.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot like dating. It's a
It
lot like
is
dating.
actually extremely. I follow the same format when I date. Actually, I try to make sure to
Pop up
always
list
have a
and
proof of
everything.
Yeah.
concept and lookbook.
Yeah, you should always have like a 3 season outline when you go on a first date. I need to know that this has legs.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
longer the legs, the easier the time, which is why Isadora got her job.
Hey,
Oh, you'd be so
wait,
surprised.
wait, no, wait,
The
wait,
tortoise
no,
legs.
that can't be the story. That can't be.
Yeah.
I didn't even see.
Add
Can I
just-
say I didn't even see Isadora's legs before she walked on set. I just want to put that on record. She was in Zoom interviews for a lot of that. So
I was
We
in a
weren't
little
even sure she had them.
box.
yeah, we didn't even sure she had them.
We have an 80-inch TV, so in my house, there was a lot of Isadora leg. So that's a lot.
Oh, right, when you watch the movie, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was the movie.
Yeah, she's phenomenal. You're phenomenal in it, Isadora. We tell her that all the time, but I don't know if you believe this, and nobody at home will have watched it yet for the most part. But we shot her out in 4 days somehow, in between
Serial.
her other her work schedule.
Wow.
It is
So
crazy.
that's a heck of a time trying to figure out how to do all your lines in 4 days without, because and mostly on film sets. For those who are unaware, film can be very boring. You're sitting, when you're working on them, you're sitting backstage waiting to get on stage, and you got somebody setting their cameras up, somebody setting lights up, somebody setting up the food, because that's where I
Right.
always end up. When you're being told, okay, this is how many days we're gonna shoot something, Isadora, how was that for you?
Oh, well, actually, they really are the best because I originally told them that I couldn't do the project because I'd I'd shot a couple of things and I'd had to ask off like literally like when they called me when we had our like FaceTime Zoom call thing, I was shooting something else elsewhere and I'd asked off from work and I didn't want to get fired, because I still have to pay the like the consistent job. So I'm like, I can't ask off again. Like, I
And
mean,
you
it was,
were behind the scenes in film too, right? You have that background as well, right?
yeah, I've done a couple films and stuff. And I was like, these are the days I have off. Would you guys consider filming in those days, it's kind of tight. But and then they were like, we'll be right back. And then
Yeah.
like I think I didn't even know if it took a full day. And then we were back in contact, and they're like, we're gonna make it work. If you want to do it, we'll do it.
Oh,
And
that's
so I would work. I would work like Friday to Monday, and then fly out Tuesday morning, shoot Tuesday, Wednesday, and then fly out Thursday.
oh my
I think one of the days we may have shot a little bit in the morning that Thursday, but and then this way I was back by Friday. I did it again for another weekend, and then I flew back
Yeah.
and did that same schedule again.
Yeah, we flew her across the country on the weekends to
God.
shoot with her.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
was
were
in
you
the
guys
middle of a
shooting this the East
14-day
Coast or
shoot.
the West Coast?
East Coast.
Okay, because I was looking at my dad. My dad is in Cape Cod. He's 170 years old.
Sure.
But but I looked at him. It could be Long Island, it could be Cape Cod, it could
Mhm.
be North Carolina. It didn't matter where it was, but you knew it was some sort of East Coast town because it's got that
Mhm.
vibe to it, and
Yeah.
the people have the vibe to it.
Yeah. Oh, are you talking about Aunt Mella?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have no idea where you got somebody with that
Yeah.
accent.
Jersey.
No idea.
Her name's Lydia. She's fantastic. I mean, everybody's fantastic in this film.
Yeah.
We should probably say what the movie's about, right?
Yeah, yeah. I don't want to.
It's
I'm
been
not
long
the
enough.
first going to say that because I don't want to screw up. But as somebody who's on the side of what I can and can't say, that's you guys. Why don't you go ahead and explain to the folks what this is about? We know it's a horror film because
It
otherwise it wouldn't be in the
is.
horror fest. So
Hmm.
do tell, do tell.
Do you want to take it away, Aaron?
Sure, yeah. So the movie's called It Needs Eyes, and it is a horror thriller about a teen girl who deep dives the dark web and sort of falls down an internet rabbit hole in the wake of trying to distract herself from a family tragedy. And in her journey down the internet rabbit hole, she stumbles upon sort of this mysterious missing woman that is local to the town where she's staying and becomes obsessed with this mystery and some other things on the internet and decides to sort of look deeper and deeper and deeper into it.
That's the safest way to say that for sure. So one thing that there was many things I loved about this film. But one of the things that I really enjoyed is a lot of the people that watch us are sci-fi fanatics. And so there is definitely the sci-fi part of this that is going to take you into a different Doctor Who has nothing on these guys is what I'm trying to say.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
Wow.
Well,
Wow. As a lifetime Whovian, how dare you? But also, thank you so
wait,
much.
you can't see it. All behind me is nothing but sonic screwdrivers in
That
the
is
wall.
huge
oh,
honor.
amazing. Yeah, that's a huge compliment. But also thank you for pointing out the sci-fi elements. That was something we did intentionally. We had talked early on when we were conceiving of it. I told Zach specifically at one point, I think I was like, I've always wanted to do more sci-fi than I've ever
Yeah.
done. And so let's talk about, can we inject a little bit of science fiction in this without making it a billboard sci-fi movie?
Yeah.
And, um,
Exactly.
Raquel, is that how you say her name properly?
Raquel. Yeah.
Raquel
Yes.
is unbelievably extraordinary. I think she's probably I mean, Isadora, you're fabulous.
No, please say it because he's wonderful.
But I have seen many a day of acting in my life, and this chick does not make it look like acting. She makes it
Mhm.
look like being, and she really is there, and you feel like it. And what I loved about the interaction between the two young girls is from the minute they meet. Now, I couldn't believe he did 4 days because there's chemistry. There's a lot of chemistry, and that's hard to
Yeah.
throw out there very easily in just a couple hours of time. Although I have been married for less than 6 months, so I can't say. Um, too many weddings. Like I like cake. Um, but so do you go by Isadora? Isadora? Isadora?
I usually go by Isadora.
Yeah, okay. So when you're trying to develop a relationship mentally with another character on that level, and you see how she's acting, and you have a background in improv as well.
A little bit. Yeah, I did a lot of sketch comedy in college. And I guess every actor has a little improv in them.
That are our social. No,
Yeah.
no. But what's good is that I didn't feel like you could have gotten thrown by anything, and your character is just very strong. And being a young, strong woman, first of all, kudos for the gentleman who wrote A Young Strong Woman because Jesus, primitive Christ, there needs to be more on my screen. Um, the one thing that really impressed me was that there was no bullshit between the two characters.
Hmm.
It was just blatant honesty from the get-go, which you don't get in a lot of stories. Could you tell me a
I,
little bit about how that felt for you?
yeah, I really appreciate that. That's really cool. Thank you. Isadora, do you want to field that?
Yeah, I feel like we live in a age that has so much access to information, and so like covering it up and pretending like not being truthful at every given moment is a shame and a waste for this generation. So being as truthful as possible is, I feel like, a second language, honestly, for a lot of people. Or well, no, that's not true. That's not true. But
No, it's
easy
true.
to be truthful with someone as like open as Raquel is. So it was really just like we were
Mm.
constantly, even though our emotional states throughout the films were not necessarily the same, we were like mirroring each other with like energy. So it was easy to like keep up with each other, I think.
And had you worked with her before?
No, I met on set.
Wow.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I mean, just the chemistry was there. So it definitely felt like you guys had worked together. And the chemistry between the aunt and Mel and the the young characters. I mean, just the idea of somebody owning a bar and like, yeah, come on and I'll give you a beer. And we're like, wait, isn't she?
Isn't she 16?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a cool aunt. What can we say?
Yeah.
It's one of those things that as a 6-year-old seems really cool. And then when you're like an adult looking back, you're like, ooh. I don't know yeah. I don't there's a scene in which for everybody who's been uninitiated, in which the main character's aunt owns a local pub.
That's not a
And
bar.
it's
Excuse
not
me.
a bar, it's a pub.
It's a pub.
And Isadora plays a neighbor girl named Alex who also happens to be making a little money on the side as a cam girl. Uh,
I didn't want to even give that away.
it's just worth saying, just give a little context.
Okay.
And she, she's kind of friends with Mela. They only have, I guess, really two scenes. If you count the phone call, like two scenes, one, two. But I think Isadora and Lydia both did a really good job of suggesting a relationship there.
Yeah,
Suggesting a whole
there's
world.
definitely feel like that they're a lot deeper connected than just, one or two times. And
Yeah.
I wouldn't even yeah, now that I'm rethinking back on the film, I watched it twice now. It's like, yeah, you're right.
Oh my
Unfortunately
gosh, how are you
I don't know
doing?
what directed
We watched it twice.
Are you good?
it. I got therapy and
I
lots
I
of
recommend watching it multiple times. Doctors may not, therapists may not.
but if you're in Mexico City, you're gonna watch it. You should watch it multiple
Yeah.
times. Okay, so you've decided to write characters. First of all, writing from a woman's perspective is always interesting to me when it comes from men. And I prefer mostly gay men to straight men.
Hey.
Oh,
Hey.
yeah. But especially when they're writing from a woman's point of view, because I think the feminine intrinsic genetics or whatever the brain chemistry is there.
Mm,
It's not bullshit. It's true. It's more honest. It's more as one of my trans friends says, I'm not me until I'm me.
mm,
Like
hmm.
so what was it like writing a character? First of all, she has this incredible relationship with her parent in this particular film.
Yeah, with her father. Yeah,
Yeah, and you don't really hear about the mother so much, if at all. Well,
a little bit.
a little bit. Um, and other women in her life. The only women that you see are the strong women, and you don't really hear about the other women. So, as far as writing goes, how is that for you, gentlemen, to or gentle gents, if you prefer, uh, when you're trying to say what people are feeling? How did you get to that point where you could be as straight up and so no bullshit and no, red flags anywhere?
That's a great question. Aaron, do you want to start? Or should I?
Sure, yeah. I mean, coming right out of the gate, Zach and I are both queer. I identify as non-binary. Zach's we're both on various levels of
And
sexuality.
Zach's.
You
I don't
know.
know why you threw up in the middle of the interview.
I get it.
No,
Yeah.
that's fair. I think that's fair. The jury's still
There's a
out, you
hairball
know.
now.
No, I was gonna get to sexuality. I don't want to speak for Zach's sexuality. I'm
I don't want to
bisexual.
speak for Zach's sexuality either, to be honest.
I think we're all
Yeah.
agreed. We're not speaking.
Yeah.
Uh,
But he has great
that's
hair.
Let's just say mostly gay and leave it at that.
Mostly gay.
mostly
I
gay.
know how that feels.
Yeah.
That's all.
Um, but from writing, we right out of the from the jump, we wanted to make something that was universal, right? We weren't
Mhm.
specifically trying to talk about the female experience because we did not have that experience, right? But we're both very empathetic people. We both, I think, spend a lot of time around women. I grew up with a mostly single mom. My dad was in the picture. I didn't live with him. Two sisters. Zach, I know, has a sister and stuff, and is close with
Yeah.
his mom.
They had
But
training.
just in general, trying
Yeah.
to like really resonate with the, and bring that into the experience. There's a lot in the film, obviously, that's based on ourselves, right? Just humanity, human experience.
Yeah.
There's a lot in there that's based very much on my sister. Parts of for both of us, we pulled parts of our own pasts and our own relationships with our parents, our
100%.
fathers specifically, into this movie. And so some of that is an amalgamation of our relationships with our parents. And also, again, I drew heavily on, there were certain scenes that when I was thinking about them and conceiving of them, I was thinking very much about my sister's experience, something I've talked to her a ton about, um, in terms of like some relationship stuff with her father, who is not my father, and things
We
that
have
she
that kind
went
of
through.
family rhyme.
Yeah.
Exactly. So long answer, we just wanted to write humans from the
Right.
jump. We wanted to tell a queer story, so immediately love interest.
Yep.
We wanted to be female as well.
Exactly.
And then we thought it'd be super interesting to have the aunt be the primary figure, and that we have this entire sort of all of the main figures and the woman that goes missing in the film who's referred to as Fishtooth.
Yeah.
Uh, Also feminine, that just this strong feminine energy, but we wanted to
And
tell that
red.
not specifically from a male or female perspective, but
Hmm.
just trying to tell the story and be as honest as possible without trying to pass. I think part one is passing no judgment on anyone and not bringing any
Agreed.
stereotypes about what teen girls are like. That was something we really didn't want to do, is to be like, this is what teenage girls are like in
They
any way.
all work on cams and they all talk to pervs.
Yeah,
Oh, little
exactly.
act on Fox TV.
Yeah, they all be doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, it's a story about grief, and that is very universal. I do think that a lot of men are not in touch with their own feelings and grief, and so sometimes all you have to do is just write earnestly and honestly. Like we pulled from our own teenage experiences. We talked about what scared us online. We talked about the things we went through as we're figuring out our sexualities, who we are in this world. Maybe our parents aren't who we thought they were exactly,
And you
and we
don't
just
really
kind
know
of
them until they're gone, trust me.
right. Right.
So,
And then we just sort of funneled that all through Rowan's experience. And I also think, a lot of times when we talk about the effect of the internet on our kids, we talk about young boys, and that is very prevalent, with the court sort of incel movement, Andrew Tate alpha stuff, and that is all poisonous. But I mean, girls are also online. We're all online
yeah.
and all the
And
time,
of course,
always, and it's always feeding something into our system and adjusting the way that we perceive our surroundings. So I thought it was just interesting to talk about that through a female perspective for
well,
this.
I thought that was brilliant for both of you guys to do that so well and so it wasn't like I'm going to pretend I know what women think. It was like this is what people think.
I think also a lot of it, I mean, some of it's the writing, but a lot of it is what our actresses brought to the words. I think, we
Yes.
had a certain intention when writing these characters of like how we think they're going to appear, but then y'all show up and you have what you bring. And so rather than, I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Isadora, I don't think we ever tried to go, no, 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 that's not what Isadora, that's not what she sounds like. Alex is this. Because I think if on the page, Alex is very nihilistic. Alex is very she's a little edgy and
In a very pragmatic way, though.
she's very pragmatic. And all those words are the same, and that nihilism is still there. However, what I think Isadora brings is this like lightness, this fun, like she lures you in because she's fun and lovely, and because you're fun. And
And she
Isadora,
physically walks in, sunshine
right?
and blonde
Oh,
hair, and yeah, I mean
yes.
everything that she walks in.
And then she became a more complete round character because of that. And
because of Isadora. And it was
yeah,
the same for Raquel, for Rowan.
100%.
Yeah,
When we were designing originally, I think there's a great example with the costume design that we had
Mm,
envisioned and we're sort of talking about for what Rowan was going to wear and how she was going to dress and how that, reflected her inner life and her feelings and her past. We had a certain thing in mind, and then Raquel actually brought a lot more to that. This was an indie movie. We didn't have a lot of money or a costume
yeah.
department. So we were talking about what Raquel had in her
I'll let
wardrobe.
TK Maxx where I'm from. Yes.
Yeah, so but what Raquel brought wardrobe-wise was not what we were originally anticipating,
It
but
was
she made
somewhere like like near, but
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, but she
Very
had some
Christy
made some
mystical in a lot of ways. I mean, that's a
yeah, yeah,
she made a compelling case for sort of wearing certain outfits as well, which we were all about, and like
yeah.
it brought this more authenticity to the character, again directly from the actress.
and I'm looking at it as four corners: the fish tooth, the roe, and the auntie,
Mm,
and
ooh,
Alex character. You got those four corners of kind of one path. Um, yes, yes,
yeah. The axes. Yeah.
yes, the vortex. So
Where do you fall on the fish tooth Mela line is crazy.
All I keep thinking is I can't say that. Can't say that now. I'll say it after
Yeah.
we're off. The one thing well, there's lots of things. The one of the things that drew me into the story that made me just not think of it, okay, I'm watching a film. It was watching everybody take a different path, but to get to the same point. Every single person took a different path to that
That's
exact same point.
Auntie, you're blowing my mind right now. We talked
That's
about
the
that
movie.
so much. We talked
Very.
about that so much. It's so cool. I think about this a lot. Aaron and I have talked about this, but it's so much work making a film, and it's so much more work when you're making an indie film. And it's just a couple of you. And so many things can change and from script to screen. And so to have these like core ideas that Aaron and I have talked about, and then to have other people see it. And we went to Brazil to premiere this, and so we went to a whole nother country.
And the pictures are great
And
on Instagram. Everybody should see them.
oh yeah, it was a blast. But so to have you and to other people come back and hit us with what we said 2 years ago to ourselves is just like it's
Oh,
so cool. It
cool.
is so cool. And then also people are coming with new things that totally make sense that we had not necessarily thought of
Done.
ourselves, but they're bringing it to the picture, and it's it's just so exciting. It's been so cool to just hear the response from people,
Did you
honestly.
find it to be almost like an opera when you were writing it or when you were performing it?
We
Because
have talked about
very much feels like an opera. It
that's
has it
amazing.
even has the false ending and the the pull back into the new ending, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yep, when I mean, we were like, when you're spending 2 months in pre-pro together in a small quarters, you do get a little loopy. And one of those ongoing bits was we were like, hey, after this, we're taking this to Broadway, right? We were just sort of joking. And so, like, when we would have, like, in the middle of,
It needs
like,
eyes on ice.
yeah, in the middle of us, like, constructing these, like, just weird thing, like, because we were doing all the production design ourselves, like, Aaron would be drawing something, or I'm editing something, in the downtime or whatever, we would burst out in what is the, like, 11 o'clock number of this song? We would sing the Shadow Man theme song to ourselves.
Which you'll have
Um,
to wait for the DVD bonus
yeah,
Oh,
features
there
yeah,
to
you go.
hear
yeah.
the Shadow Man
It
song.
is.
Don't spoil it now.
I want to emphasize not a musical in any way whatsoever.
No,
Yeah,
there's
Just very funny that you would say that, huh?
yet,
Yet,
yet.
yet,
yet.
Yet.
yet. Watch out, Broadway.
We're all warming
Um,
up.
But I do think there are, to your point, like there are these big emotional like ebbs and flows throughout the whole thing.
The dad on the phone.
Yeah.
Dad on the phone. That's all I'm gonna say about that, but that's all I want you to say. The,
Raquel was amazing that scene. We had tears on set, to be honest.
it was hard to watch. As somebody who was raised by a dad, it was hard to watch, especially a dad with similar issues.
Yeah.
When you are looking at putting this out to other people and you're putting it out and you got a distribution because you're going through the festivals and whatnot, right? So you actually have a distribution coming up, or are you still hunting that down?
The answer is mixed. So this company
Drinking
called
game.
in
Sorry, the dog's barked. We have to drink.
No worries.
Oh,
Drink.
okay. Hold on one sec.
Okay, go ahead.
Don't say anything.
The boss will
So
laugh.
this movie was financed in part by a company called Insurgents, who's been super cool, and we're very grateful to them. And
Mhm.
they have sort of distribution plans. They're our distribution company, but in terms of the actual methods of distribution, they're handling that, and we're still figuring out what that exact path is going to be, right? Often film festivals can be a way to get seen, to get reviews, to get press, etc., to help sort of
Have the
entice
crazy
sort of the
people in Vancouver, Washington. Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. And so we don't know exactly when and where it's going to release. There's a lot of murmurings. I won't bring any of them up.
Yeah,
But
don't jinx it.
There,
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
there are talks with companies to find a home for this. Is I think all we probably can say.
Yeah, but for
Um,
now we're doing a festival tour, and so we're playing around the country in multiple countries, obviously, all over the place. And
Yeah, I expected to see you like at South by Southwest, but to hear you were in Brazil, I thought was a little fancier than that. So
it
ooh la
was
la.
great. Couldn't
that's
recommend.
awesome.
Shout out to Fantaspoa, Fantasy and Fantastic Film Festival in Brazil.
Now, how did you find these? You just searched online and who's doing what type of film festival? Let's see what this fits.
Yeah, well, we've played the genre circuit before, and all of our friends are filmmakers, and so we just know what are like the bigger festivals. We wanted to play at Fantaspo for a really long time. Like every single person we'd ever talked to had ever been is like, you have to go to this festival, and now we are those people.
Yeah.
It really is fantastic.
And
It's
not for
it
nothing, Portland Horror was one of our favorite fests
Yes,
that we played with our short film. And
yeah.
so we were
Yeah,
really,
we
that
saw.
was one of
I
the,
did peek at that too. That you guys when I saw that one, it reminded me more of I don't know who did the storyboarding. If you guys did storyboarding, but it was very the whole thing kind of read as a no, almost a manga in my head.
I
amazing.
love that. Yeah, it's we got a monkey's paw as a short comedy horror that we made together before this. I think yeah, we I think anime and video games and manga are a big influence on both of us. Um
Absolutely. Yeah. Which
eh,
that short is streaming on YouTube currently. We got a monkey's paw if anyone wants to watch it. But the intention was definitely
And
high
the
energy,
poster's very
very,
Bela Lugosi style. It's just gorgeous too.
yeah.
Um,
appreciate that. Yeah, we do all our own we do
I say you
all
have
our
to
own
do all your own
everything
art
really
direction,
ultimately
right?
is the yeah, we do all our own art direction, storyboarding. I when we were doing this movie, It Needs Eyes, we it's just Aaron and I running around the house taking photos of each other in position of where the characters are going to be and finding out new angles and doing all that stuff ahead of time and then plopping that into an Excel spreadsheet, so that we're on set. We don't have to think about any of that.
Yeah,
Um,
it's taken care
yeah,
of. It's on there.
it's taken care of. So much of directing is really just the pre-work
Yeah.
of directing.
And as an animator, a lot of that too, with
Oh,
the
true.
yeah, in game,
Yep.
same thing. It's everything's in Excel if you don't know Excel. Isadora, for you, darling. I'm not going to ignore you because you're the
It's
prettiest
okay.
part of
Love
my
to
He's so
day.
cute.
I know, prettiest part of my day besides my puppy who's sitting over here sleeping. So I can never say anything's prettier than my puppy. It just won't work.
I understand.
Um, you reminded me a lot of young Lily Taylor. And I don't know if you're familiar with her work at all.
No,
Oh, girl, that is a rabbit hole for you.
really.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you some homework, Donna. I want you to look up let's see, The House on the Hill, House on the Hill,
Mm.
and maybe Mystic Pizza, just so you can get an idea of where she came from and where she is now. She's also an incredible poet, but and writer. But she's one of these phenomenal actresses. Also, Plimpton, no, oh, Plummer. what's her first name? My brain just went off because I'm over 60 and that's what happens. Amanda Plummer. Amanda Plummer is the other person. If you look up Amanda Plummer and Lily Taylor, because you have that vibe that I could see you kind of doing this indie circuit. I don't know if you want to do acting more or stuff behind the scenes more, but you definitely have that vibe of somebody that's going to take a word, just a single word, and you took a few words and just owned it so deep. Like it was like somebody biting into a piece of chocolate. It's just, just there. It just
Mm.
um just
Isadora does put like mustard on everything, I
that's what
think.
Yeah, you do. You put little condiments on your
Yeah.
lines.
you can
Yeah.
have condoms or you can have condiments. Which one?
There's not a lot of like I would say improv that necessarily is in the film. There is a few and any of it is all Isadora.
Yeah.
Well, there it was like you said, like their chemistry is so good, and in part
Yeah.
it was allowing them to go past the scene and just be
I
in
really
Yeah.
felt like
those
they had known
moments.
each other for years. I mean, it
Yeah.
was like there was like I kept thinking, oh, they had to have been worked, in many things together.
We felt that. I'd love to hear your thoughts more on that, Isadora, but we felt that on set, like an immediate chemistry. We were rolling and we were like, oh man, this relationship is gonna work. And even in the
Yeah.
early rough cuts when nothing works and the film looks like garbage and half the edits aren't there and you can barely hear the lines,
You're
and
on
we were
hour
getting
17 and you have to bring it back to 2.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly, yeah. And those early rough cuts of the film, the assemblies even, like we had our friends like watch I mean, resounding, almost everyone came out of that being like, the two leads are phenomenal together.
Yeah, yeah.
100%.
And it definitely was four posters of the bed, the four women in there. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, it wouldn't have stood up otherwise. I think the
I
all four.
really like that, thinking of it as a axes, as four corners. I really like that a lot.
It had
Uh,
they couldn't work without each other. They had to,
yeah.
and everybody balances each other the right
Yeah,
way.
we definitely knew because the only thing we had them do beforehand was like one Zoom chemistry read, and that can be hard because nobody's in the same room, but they really did have something there. And then it was such a breath of fresh air when Isadora rolled in on set.
Mhm. And
Yeah,
and, and the fish,
truly changed the pH level of.
the gal who played Fish Tooth, that was my brain's gonna go again. What
Her
was her?
name's Lola Blanc.
Thank you, Lola Blanc. Very nice. I love these beautiful names. Isadora, Lola, right? Beautiful names. Um,
Only beautiful names.
only beautiful names. Everybody got Kleenex and crying over each other. The the idea that one character just reaches into something constantly. Rowan's character reaches in, and you see Alex's character kind of slapping stuff away a lot.
Yeah.
And I thought that those two together, like I could see you guys doing projects together in the future because that was, that's a natural thing you can't get from,
Yeah.
you have to work at it. I mean, that's a Pacino, De Niro thing,
There's a great we've already had a couple reviews on Letterboxd, and there's a really good one that I liked where it described the movie as a psychological thriller wrapped in a queer summer romance movie. And that's like entirely correct. I think the whole time there is this promise of a nice movie that Rowan could be in
Yeah,
if she just
didn't.
logged off.
Yeah, exactly. Put
Came and hung
a
out with me.
phone down.
Yeah, she could be in a beautiful queer rom-com, but she keeps rejecting that.
Yeah.
I hope she's doing that in real life. Um, what do you want? What do you want an audience to see from your films in the future? I mean, I know you're probably working on your next projects. You got to be, because that's what people do. You don't forget if you love making movies, you never stop making movies. I point this out often, but this is my, oh, you might not be able to see it. Damn, I have a 27-inch
Because of your
animation
background.
table. Yeah, it's a nice green screen.
Mm.
I have a 27-inch animation table next to me that I've been working on the same film now for 9 years. So
Wow.
Incredible.
that's what happens. You get
Beautiful.
into doing stuff and you
Like Phil Tippett.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like Don Bluth without the alcohol. But did I say that?
I mean, Aaron's producing a film right now. Their cousin Dusty, who did work on our film as well, is like constantly shooting stuff, and so you're out there. in Ohio.
Yeah, I am currently in Columbus, Ohio, producing a vampire movie called What's Wrong, Wendy?
Nice. There's never enough vampire
Yeah.
movies, as you
And
said.
then I'm always just constantly writing, and we have talked more about what the next project would be, whether it's something new or maybe like in the same. I think this movie really works as a standalone, but there is a lot to chew on, and I think there
Yeah, there's definitely a way to reach into something.
we have thoughts of the Fishtooth movie, of the
I was gonna
prequel,
say there's gotta be
yeah,
a prequel involved
or
here,
the
right?
sequel following. Because I mean, yeah, we won't talk about how it ends at all, but I yeah,
There's a
more
pre-sequel,
that
post-quel.
could yeah.
Yeah, there's
um
still day at Six Flags for you.
yeah.
Exactly. And
And
Zach and
then
I each have we've written a murder mystery together, and we've got
yep.
a couple other projects we're always cooking on.
Oh
And
yeah.
is it always been horror genre that you're kind of shooting for? Because to me,
That's just
that's a more interesting genre than most.
always genre. Always
Always
genre.
genre. I wouldn't say, yeah, I'm not necessarily attached to horror specifically, but I think that genre is such a lovely place to be, whether it's horror, sci-fi, crime drama, something with a distinct set of like rules that allows you to play within that space, and especially anything that can lean fantastical science fiction,
Hmm.
allows you to explore metaphor in a much more interesting, both more abstractly and more concretely. I think than, if someone is looking for pure realism in a film, it's harder to sort of take this grand metaphor
Gets
and,
into
and extrapolate.
melodrama.
Yeah.
It gets into melodrama, exactly.
Yeah.
But if you can throw a creature, a spaceship, or something larger than life in there, you can use that to talk
Or
about
street.
everyday life.
Yeah. Isadora, are you auditioning for things all over the place or?
Yeah, auditioning all the time.
Yep. For those,
Isadora was in a Super Bowl commercial, by the way.
oh, which one?
He was the face of of a Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah. Michelob Ultra, it's like a beer company.
It's
It's
this
like a
little
beer
beer
company.
company. You probably
It's
never
like a
heard of
beer
it.
company.
You heard
It's like Chevy, it's like a car.
It's like this.
That's funny. It's only one of the top three beer companies in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. So that's cool. That
Yeah.
suck. Now I worked on Bud Bowl many, many times, so I can tell you beer commercials have good residuals. So hopefully
Mhm.
that will help. And while you're waiting for the next gig, auditioning for you. How was it auditioning for this particular piece? Did you read the script beforehand, or did you just know the guys and trust them with what they had coming at you?
Well, I didn't know them before. Well, I mean, I knew of Aaron before.
Peripherally, yeah.
Yeah. And uh I hadn't seen any of their movies before, that which is really rare. Before I ever say yes, I usually do stalk them. But because they came from word of mouth, I was like, oh yeah, I don't remember if I read the script before. I almost think I think I did. I don't know why I would have said yes otherwise. I would be. I mean, I trust you guys, and the we like talked on the phone, and you could just tell there was like really great energy. They both have like, although they like, you guys have talked a lot about like Raquel and not Raquel, sorry. Um, well, yeah, Raquel and I having good chemistry. They have really great chemistry. So like entering into their space is just like really easy and really wonderful. So like, I think I think maybe I did. I must have read the script before, but I'd originally auditioned for
Yes.
a role that Raquel did, and then we ended
Yes.
up switching with Alex, which I think Alex fits me way better, and I like it. And I I think it's easy to work with them. So I'm like fumbling my words right now. They created a great
Nobody,
space
this is
already on board.
cool. Nobody cares if you mess up a word
Every,
and Aaron.
yeah.
I keep doing this. Yeah.
I do like you calling it like the space, like it's like a that we make, like it's a zone, like it's a alternate
Yeah.
like universe. It feels that way sometimes. I
It can
feel like
certainly
You got
feel
your own
that.
little
yeah.
planet going there.
Yeah.
This is the Aaron Zach.
We will just super drill in into some stupid thing and just kind of go, 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 go.
Yeah,
But
we're
that's what I mean. If you're going to work with somebody forever, and hopefully you guys will keep working together.
What? Oh yeah. Well, I mean, when we were making this, I mean, even well into like posts and like we'll just randomly call each other and be like, I had a revelation, or I had an idea, or I need to talk about this right now. What do you think?
yeah.
Um,
Gotta get off the toilet first. No.
yeah, and then and we're usually pretty in sync about a lot of things. There's a couple things where like, oh, I don't know about this, and we try and find the middle ground. But usually one of us will hit like a big idea, like, hey, I have this pivot, I have this idea. What if, she's a cam girl, and then that's how we get to link. We're talking about the internet, she's linked to the internet, and then we start going, okay, okay, and then that can be used in this scene or in this way. It's never just one thing. Like if you introduce something, it needs to be like three things at least in a movie, and we like
Yeah.
it's so easy to just bad
Yeah, the
ideas.
rule of three is a
Aaron.
very big thing.
Yeah.
And that's actually my favorite thing about co-writing, or maybe just co-writing with Zach, to be honest, has been so rewarding and so great because if you can co-write with somebody that you trust specifically, it it makes the writing process not only more fun because it's a social event now,
Yeah.
but also more productive, I find, right? If I'm writing something alone, you can get really caught up on specific ideas. Is this good? Is it not good? Is it, I don't know. I need to run this by some people. But if you're actively co-writing with someone, there were so many times that I definitely had some ideas for the film at some point. I'd be like, oh, would it be cool if, and Zach would be, and just from Zach's face being like, I'd be like, no, you're right, throw it out. Uh,
Never mind, I
Totally.
didn't say that.
Or like,
no, not even
yeah,
not from a place of self-consciousness at all. Just
yeah,
being like, I trust you so intrinsically that if it doesn't land in light bulb for Zach, if I don't see Zach's face light up at the idea, I know it's not the best one. And so we should move forward. And there are other times where Zach similarly would pitch things and I
sure.
would just like instantly it clicks and I'm like, oh my God, that's the thing. And then
That's
we
the
both
movie.
know that's the thing
Yeah.
because
Like you're
we
both in
both,
the same brain and you just
yeah,
in different parts of it at the same time, and then
find
Yeah.
where it
yeah,
interlocks.
yeah.
It's just, yeah, if that spark, that magic starts happening, then we know that it's exciting and it's good. Because that's really at the end of the day, like you better like the fucking thing you're making and it better excite you. Otherwise, why
Yeah.
the hell are you doing it?
Yep.
Um,
Otherwise, it's work.
yeah, it's just work. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be climbing a mountain anyway, so it better be kind of fun while you're doing it.
Now you're going to be the
Um,
musical.
yeah, and now we're doing it. Listen, we have a third person who says we should make this a musical, and now I'm convinced.
It's going to be the most depressing musical.
That's fine.
That means Morrissey. That's it. That's
That's yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I mean opera, that's opera for you,
there
you
you
know.
That's
go.
opera, baby.
That's just opera, baby.
That is
Um yeah, surgery in an opera?
again.
How decadent. A little Futurama
And,
for
and
everybody at home.
all I keep thinking is Isadora's going to be auditioning for this thing in like 10 years, and she'll be like, wait a minute, there's a surgery in this.
I
Who
love
wrote this?
the idea that we would take this and not just offer the role to Isadora. That is hilarious to me.
Make me work for it.
Well, good point. They got to be writing parts for you, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 100% writing parts for Isadora from here on out. No question.
See?
In
Yeah,
my
I want
there's
this
no reason
recording
not
right now.
That's what you want. Make it live.
mind.
What day is that? Yeah, the 5th of
You got-
June, 2025.
Yeah.
Write that down. Mark that down.
Yes.
Yeah.
We,
Well, to
we
your
have
point,
witnesses.
Six,
not
six.
not to tangent, but to Isidora's point about like the space being created, that like coming into each other's orbit. There was this beautiful moment on set. I can't remember if it was, yeah, we already started shooting. It was when Isadora had arrived, and so Raquel had already been there for a week or so.
Yeah.
And we were all hanging out in somebody's Airbnb. And it was me, Zach, Isadora, and Raquel. And I think Raquel might have pointed out at some point that it was that we were all queer in some way, and that this core team, we're all queer, and that was not an intentional thing that we did. We didn't specifically set out to like cast queer
Recast.
actors
Yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
our queer movie. We're an indie film. We need to take the best actors we can find, and that was them. But there was this sort of magical moment that sort of clicked. That was like, oh, we all really care about representation here. We
Mhm.
all really care about each other's like safety and well-being and all those things. And it goes well beyond sort of the obvious like, oh, we use the right pronoun situation.
Yeah.
It was just this
Wait.
like safety together, feeling like we were all in the same team and we all had shared this common bond that was like
Mhm.
very, very deep in this understanding of what the characters are going through and where they're coming from, and also
Yeah.
where we're coming from as the directors. And I felt like after that moment, there was this instant like ratcheting up of the trust on set and like this comfort that we all felt with each other specifically.
Right.
It
Oh,
was
agreed.
joyful as somebody who went through grad school having to do phone sex just to pay bills, watching because they didn't have, the internet back then.
Hmm.
Watching Alex's characters to this, okay, check this out. And
Right.
we used to do it, we used to try to see if we can get people into car accidents by reading
On the phone?
yeah. It was like the joy of our job.
That's
Reading
crazy.
gay men's magazines to straight men driving home to their crazy wives who were sleeping with pool boys. That was like my last year of grad school.
That's
Um,
crazy.
That's iconic.
Wow.
That is iconic.
and
That is iconic.
I kept thinking Alex was being me in grad school.
I can't even I can't even count how many car crashes I've caused.
I bet you could.
You doing like me pulling up
Yeah.
my pant leg like Bugs Bunny on the side of the road?
Yeah.
But one of the things that getting back to this is Pride
Yeah.
Month. This is
Happy
Pride
Pride.
and Happy Pride, and one of the things that one of my dearest friends, Erica, who when I knew her as a child wasn't Erica, but she was always Erica, to me.
Mm.
We recently just had dinner not too long ago, and she said to me, "I don't understand why people don't feel like you do." What do you mean? She says, "You talk about fighting against these people that are like anti-queer," and it's like, yeah, because that's my job as your friend. That's what I should do. And she says, "Why don't more people think like that?" And to me, it's insanity that they don't. And to not have queer representation, to not have, the bis in this world or the
Hmm.
trans in this world or whoever, not have representation in something as simple as a film. It boggles my mind. It's like, well, you can't be black in movies anymore because we don't like to look at those people. I mean,
Ugh,
it's the same thing to me. It's the
yeah.
exact same thing to me.
You do have to actively fight and fight for each other, and cut it
Yeah.
out, in spaces where hate pops up. And I agree that representation is so important. And I think, yeah, it was so cool, like Aaron said, realizing that. And when we were shooting some of the girls, more, um, I'll say just like intimate scenes, there were moments where I was like, my my heart was just like really full because I realized, I mean, you understand when you're writing it what you're going to be doing and what you're going to be shooting, but like being there in the moment and working with these people who are so passionate to make a scene that I wish I could have seen growing up in a movie, just like two kids falling in love in a super normal way
And
in a movie.
that's
And
as
yeah,
simple as it needs to be. It doesn't
yeah,
have to be more
Yeah. It
complex
was
than that.
those moments on set were really beautiful. And
it was really
again,
cool.
to their chemistry, credit to their chemistry and also their trust in us. It was just
I just
like
love the fact that you guys had a pajama party, at an Airbnb and just like felt this world together. So
Yeah,
that's
we were
cool
playing
stuff.
games, just to
For
like as a bond. Yeah,
yeah.
funny thing. It's this game. Shout out to For the Queen, our little RPG game.
Hey,
Really fun.
I'm
Really
all about RPGs. So,
Yeah.
well, I know I've taken up a lot of your time today. Is there anything? I'm seriously in love with you guys. You're like my favorite interview today. Of course, you're my fourth interview. What would you like me to tell people for you, or what would you like to tell people for yourself
Okay.
before you're going to talk to them on the 12th, correct?
Yes, yeah, we're going to be screening at the Hollywood Theater at the 12 on the 12th,
That's
8:40 p.m. We will be there with some other members of the crew, Travis Campbell, our producer, and Nathaniel Smith, our sound designer, both of which are absolutely phenomenal. I can't wait to
the
talk.
music is really good.
The music's fantastic, the sound's
It's
fantastic. It
really
really
like I
just
was like
creates
sound.
the world
Yeah.
of this film. Yeah, can't wait. We're also going to be doing a Q&A afterwards, and then we're going to be rolling over to the after party. So if you're there, like, feel free to say hi, let us know what you thought, and just, yeah, come chat with us about some queer movies. Um,
Those
yeah,
straight people, they do movies too, I hear.
ugh, not in front of me, not in front of my kids. I don't want to have to explain straight people to them.
And you got to come out of the closet straight. It's a
It's
horrible thing.
horrible.
yeah.
Um, I mean, what else is there to say? I'm just excited for people to see this movie. We put a lot of ourselves into it. I think everybody, it's a small crew, so everybody has their fingerprints on it. And a lot of it, when you're making a small budget film, is a lot of favors. And we're just so lucky to have so many talented people in our
Bring
orbit.
Kleenex and bring diapers because when you're
Yeah,
shitting yourself
bring
from
diapers.
some of the scary stuff, you will be
Yeah,
crying because Raquel and Alex do make you, feel things.
it's a spooky movie
Yeah,
ultimately. And I hope people leave a little bit
A little
uncomfortable.
full diaper. Yeah.
Yeah, full diaper. And yeah, what else? What do you guys want to say about this and
Um,
about?
I'll let Isadora go last and close us out so she has time to think about the final statements. But I want to echo Zach and just say that like we couldn't have done this without the very small list of people that helped us relative to a film, but a very large list in terms of having so many great friends.
Mhm.
People who, in every crew position, there's a lot of internet videos in the movie that
Yeah.
like our friends helped us make and like they did better than we ever could. And so, yeah, it was really labor of love and a community project in a lot of ways. And Zach and I are so thankful to everyone that contributed to the film. And then if I
Oh, the city
can,
of Stamford as well.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, for just like opening up homes and bars and yeah,
The
it was
scenes are gorgeous. They
yeah.
absolutely.
yeah, beautiful locations and stuff. And yeah, every member of the crew was great. But yeah, I mean, I think that just if there's any takeaways, we want people to, take away their own thing from the movie. But I think that if I may soapbox for just a second, we're all subject to constant barrage of horrific images and videos on the internet. And I think it's important not to ignore those things, especially when so many are like human rights violations that if we like look away from. Yeah, exactly. That if we look away, they're gonna happen without us. But to also collectively be able to acknowledge, like out loud, that we are all doing this and we are all being traumatized. We are microdosing trauma.
That's a good
Uh,
way of putting it. Yes.
yeah, collectively on our phones and then going back to work and not talking about it. And so that's a conversation that I think hopefully this movie can sort of open up. It doesn't get political like that, but it's the same idea that we're always 2 clicks away from a beheading on the internet.
Yeah.
And I think we need to be aware of the realities of that situation and be there for each other.
Look next to you in the cars and see how many people are crying on the way home. That's seriously. I used to carry bubbles in my car just to try to cheer people up.
That's so cute.
Cause car accidents that way in a new way.
Oh, that's how.
Yeah, hard to blow bubbles while driving. Oh, bubbles go in the probably the cup holder, right? Yeah,
Cup
okay,
holder.
you're
Yeah,
right.
you
Okay,
just fill
that's
the
safe.
cup holder with soap.
With bubbles.
Exactly.
Isadora, anything you'd like to add? Anything you'd like to say to close us out?
Um, just
You're on the spot.
movie. Come watch a movie and support independent filmmakers. It's
Yeah.
This is really where not all the magic happens, but I guess where all artists get to get together and like show a piece that they all collaborated on, and this is how you support local artists.
Especially
Yeah.
without the overlord, studio people telling you how and what things are supposed to be instead of what you want.
Oh, I also just want to thank, if we haven't already, Portland Horror Film Fest for having us back. And
Heck
thank
yeah.
you to just the vibe and audience that they bring together and they curate. They always put together such a good show. And there's just some phenomenal artists out there that they get to highlight. And yeah, I hear like a lot of people you see online were like, oh, there's no good movies today. They're all remakes or all this or that. Like, no, they exist. Just like maybe go out and
Yeah,
watch them.
stop
Go,
looking at
yeah,
Marvel. Yeah.
yeah. So, and I love that the people in Portland want to watch something weird and get scared
Well, it stays weird.
and
Just
yeah,
like husband. Yeah.
I'm very excited. I'm very excited and very grateful.
Well, I'm very glad that we are going to meet you guys in person, and I know that your fans are going to just, triple, quadruple, sextuple, thruple, as soon as they can. I don't know why I said it that way. Um,
Well,
I
16 times 0 is still 0, but I'm joking.
That's
We have
math.
fans. We have fans.
Yes, you do. I do. I'm one of them. And I'm big. All right. So this has
I've
been,
seen how many Blue Sky followers you have.
yes, there's one or two. There was way more on Facebook,
It's
but
more like that, more than
I
that.
de-Facebooked a while back because I don't want to be around the Nazis. So I have this thing against Nazis. Go figure.
Fair.
So today this has been the anti-social horror-ish hour for the Portland Horror Film Festival from June 11th through the 15th in beautiful downtown Portland, Oregon. I hope you all make it. The tickets are very inexpensive, $95 for the whole package. Just go. It's worth it. It's cheaper than going to a date with two people. Not that I've done that on a Friday night. And I hope to see you all soon. You guys are fabulous. Thank you all for chatting with me today.
Thank you.
You. Thank
Thank
you so
you very
much.
much.